The Imperium of Man rests on four immense institutions. On Terra, Adeptus Terra, the bureaucratic priesthood of Terra, coordinates galaxy-wide administration. Its sibling organizations include the Adeptus Mechanicus, the tech priests of Mars, the Adeptus Ministorum, Ecclesiarchy or state church, and the Inquisition, the Emperor's secret police. These answer to the Senatus, High Lords of Terra, in the Emperor's name, and together they muster the ships, armies, and psionic powers that hold mankind's realm together. Adeptus Terra, the Imperial bureaucracy on Terra, Adeptus Administratum, Departamento Munitorum, etc. It processes tithes and tax, census data and planetary records, and manages logistics for every sector of the galaxy. Adeptus Mechanicus, the priesthood of the machine god on Mars. Technically, a separate feudal empire under treaty, it builds and repairs all holy technology for the Imperium. Adeptus Ministorum, Ecclesiarchy, the Emperor's Church. It enforces the imperial creed across 1,000,000 worlds and raises zealous armies of sisters of battle. The Inquisition, fanatical secret agents who answer only to the Emperor. Inquisitors wield absolute power, hunting heresy, alien plots, and demonic cults wherever they arise. Adeptus Terra, the Emperor's bureaucracy. On Terra, the Administratum staffs uncountable billions of clerks and scribes. It administers the Imperium at every level, assessing tithes and taxes, conducting population censuses, and planning every mundane detail of life across 1,000,000 worlds. Within its labyrinthine halls, the Departamento Munitorum outfits and feeds the Astra Militarum, while the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, the Imperium's psychic lifeline, relays messages across the void. The Adeptus Astronomica keeps the Astronomican beacon burning, a psychic star by which all warp travel is steered. In the shadows, the Officio Assassinorum carries out sanctioned murder, quietly erasing the Imperium's enemies before they can draw breath to rebel. And when law must be enforced with unbreakable authority, the Adeptus Arbites, the Emperor's legionary police, bring worlds to heel. Despite this unimaginable bureaucracy, Imperial civil servants are unreliable, slow, suspicious, and often corrupt. Many governors and officials bribe, delay, or openly defy orders. Only the iron rule of the Senatorum Imperialis, High Lords, and the fanaticism of the Adeptus Ministorum keep the system from collapsing under its own weight. On Mars and its forge worlds, the Adeptus Mechanicus maintains all technology as sacred relics. This cult of the machine god predates the Imperium and, by the ancient Treaty of Mars, answers only to its own priesthood and the god Emperor. Tech priests openly scorn the imperial truth, revering machines instead. To them, flesh is weak, and to be replaced by bionics is holy. They alone hold the galaxy's lost blueprints and repair knowledge. As lore grimly admits, without the Mechanicus, no starship would ply the void, no army march to war. The Adeptus Mechanicus forges every titan, knight, tank, and ship for the Emperor's armies. In return, its vaults of knowledge and manufacture keep the Imperium alive, even if much technology is treated as arcane ritual. Specialized forces, forge worlds, manufacturing plants, titans of the Collegia Titanica, Skitarii legions, and Cybernetica automata. By the Treaty of Olympus, Treaty of Mars, the Mechanicus is granted near total sovereignty over all forge worlds, allowing the cult Mechanicus to operate with a license to heresy so long as it delivers war machines and knowledge. The rulers of Mars Fabricator General, Magos, and others follow inscrutable doctrines, trusting the Emperor only insofar as he is an avatar of the machine god. The Mechanicus can be fractious. Its tech priests converse in techno-babble and mistrust psychic things. Yet every army needs their support. In dire emergencies, inquisitors may plead for a tech, priests aid in decoding a lost device, or even request a Titan Legio as reinforcement. These alliances are uneasy. Inquisitors resent the Mechanicus' arrogance, and tech priests chafe at inquisitorial meddling. Still, the Imperium simply could not function without the priesthood of Mars. Adeptus Ministorum, the ecclesiastical state church. The Adeptus Ministorum, Ecclesiarchy, spreads the imperial cult like wildfire. It commands fanatic legions of the Adepta Sororitas, Sisters of Battle, an all-female arm of warrior nuns. Under the Holy Synod on Terra, these zealous missionaries and commissars keep billions obedient to the Emperor's worship. In every system, priests exhort obedience to the God-Emperor and demonize any dissent as heresy. The Ecclesiarchy even fields armies, equipped with basic power armor and church cannons, when needed to suppress rebellion. The militant arm of the church, the Adepta Sororitas, serves as warrior priests enforcing the imperial creed with brutal zealotry. The church maintains its own inquisitorial liaisons, often working alongside the Ordo Hereticus to stamp out political or psychic treason wherever it festers. In short, the Ministorum provides the spiritual glue and the cruciform ammunition that fuels the Imperium's indomitable will. The Inquisition, Emperor's shadow warriors. Above all stands the Inquisition. Inquisitors wield near omnipotent authority in the Emperor's name. No law binds them. A bearer of the inquisitorial seal can requisition any servant in the Imperium, from the lowliest clerk to entire Space Marine chapters and Imperial Navy battle fleets. They police every institution for heresy, alien infiltration, or chaos corruption. Inquisitors are grim pragmatists who trust neither nobles nor god-emperors. Only the survival of humanity matters. When planets revolt or daemonic incursions erupt, only the Inquisition has the remit to unleash the harshest remedies. Orbital strikes, exterminatus, or deploying whole armies to contain threats. The Inquisition is divided into major ordos, each with its own terrible purpose. The Ordo Malleus hunts daemons with relentless fury, backed by the secretive Grey Knight Space Marines specially forged to slay the demonic horrors that stalk the warp. The Ordo Xenos stalks alien threats, supported by the Death Watch, an elite kill team drawn from many Space Marine chapters, sworn to destroy Xenos' menace wherever it festers. The Ordo Hereticus is the witch hunters of the Imperium, hunting traitors and psychers with grim determination, their efforts bolstered by the fanatical Sisters of Battle, who serve as the Ordo's chamber militant. Each Ordo can seize vast resources in the Emperor's name: Space Marines, enormous guard regiments, or even the Adeptus Mechanicus itself may be placed under an Inquisitor's command when the galaxy's fate demands it. This immense power breeds tension. The Inquisition often clashes with the very forces it relies upon. Many tech priests resent inquisitorial meddling, and some among the Adeptus Astartes bristle at the scrutiny of their honor and faith. Yet with warp storms raging and the light of Terra fading, Inquisitors hold the grim ledger of humanity's survival, an unblinking balance of sacrifice, onslaught, and utter destruction. Astra Militarum, Imperial Guard, humanity's bulwark. Where Space Marines are angels, the Astra Militarum, the Imperial Guard, are humanity's unending army of mortals. It is the primary fighting force of the Imperium, so vast that the Ministorum cannot count its billions of troopers. Each year, trillions of soldiers are tithed from the stars. Regiments from every world swell countless battle lines. They are the backbone of the Imperium. Individually, a guardsman lacks power armor or genetic gifts, but in formation, they unleash torrents of lost fire, artillery, and blunt courage to bleed the enemy dry. Millions of regiments exist, each raised by its home world, while the Departamento Munitorum oversees their training, supply, and command hierarchy. The doctrine is brutal and simple: wage war in overwhelming numbers. Each regiment can be billions strong, with strict discipline enforced by commissars and shadowy political oversight. When desperation demands, elite troops, stormtroopers, Kazakhin, and other specialties surge forth to turn the tide. No Imperial assault would succeed without the Guard's near inexhaustible manpower. As one historian grimly notes, without it, mankind would surely perish. Even Space Marines rely on these human legions to hold flanks and man trenches. However, Guard generals and chapter masters usually operate in parallel. A Marine does not directly command a Guard company, preserving a separation of power that the High Lords zealously maintain. Adeptus Astartes Space Marines, Angels of Death. The Emperor's genetically raised angels, the Adeptus Astartes, are the Imperium's trump cards. They are one of the most elite and feared fighting forces in the galaxy. Organized into roughly 1,000 autonomous chapters, each around 1,000 warriors strong. Every chapter is a self-sufficient army with its own starships and fortress monastery. Through sacred gene seed and millennia of training, a single Space Marine is stronger and more resilient than 100 mortal soldiers. They are the Emperor's blitzkrieg, called to strike behind enemy lines, purge cursed worlds, or turn the tide when hope is lost. No other troops venture where Marines will plunge. Chapter masters swear loyalty to the Emperor, but formally they are subject to the orders of the highest-ranking Adeptus Terra, only in the broadest sense. In practice, chapters follow the unwritten rule that only the most urgent crisis warrants their intervention. In the late 41st millennium, Robert Guilliman, Lord Commander of the Imperium, created the Primaris Space Marines, a new generation of super soldiers, to bolster the legions during the Indomitus Crusade. These Primaris warriors supplement existing chapters, but remain distinct forces in their own right. Several chapters form Deathwatch detachments under inquisitorial command, while others, such as the Black Templars, march under the banner of the Ecclesiarchy, or the Ultramarines who serve within Guilliman's Ultramar governance. In battle, Space Marines coordinate with Guardsmen, often spearheading assaults, but remain far apart institutionally. A Guardsman might never see a Marine in his lifetime. To most, they are legends of myth, while the Emperor's angels hold their interventions in strict reserve. All these branches inevitably meet on shattered battlefields, and when they do, the air hums with both cooperation and tension. The Adeptus Mechanicus and the Inquisition eye one another with cold suspicion. Tech priests see Inquisitors as meddlesome zealots who trample over sacred logic, while Inquisitors regard the priests of Mars as dangerously close to birthing forbidden machine intelligences. Yet both sides know a bitter truth. No starship sails the void, no army marches to war, without the blessings and machinery of Mars. So, grudgingly, alliances are struck. An Inquisitor will call upon Titan legions or petition tech priests for relic knowledge when the galaxy's survival demands it. Likewise, the Space Marines and Imperial Guard fight shoulder to shoulder only in the gravest of wars. The Codex Astarte forbids a chapter from permanently absorbing a Guard regiment, keeping their spheres of command separate. The Guard admires the Marines as angels of death, yet they obey different chains of authority. Still, in the Emperor's name, an Inquisitor can strip a Guardsman of command in a heartbeat, handing the regiment to an Astartes company without ceremony. Above all, the Adeptus Terra strains to tame these vast forces through rigid policy, yet infighting is chronic. Inquisitors operate outside nearly every law, stealing jurisdiction from Arbites or Ministorum officials. The Ecclesiarchy's burning zeal grinds against Mechanicus rationalism. Space Marine chapters bristle at any interference, even when duty compels them to serve under inquisitorial banners, as with the Deathwatch. Despite these cracks, the Imperium's great war machine still turns because the galaxy's enemies leave no room for collapse. Billions die on 100 fronts each day, and only this tangled web of bureaucracy, faith, and superhuman warriors holds back the abyss. But it groans under the strain, and the sound is growing louder. One more heresy, one more rebellion, and the Imperium's millions of worlds may finally fall.